Salut à tous et bienvenue pour une autre vidéo. Il s'appelle Diallo Riddle. Il est écrivain, producteur, acteur, DJ américain et pour son travail dans l'émission du Late Night Show avec Jimmy Fallon, il a été nominé pour un Emmy Award. Il apparaît dans plusieurs films et a travaillé pour l'ancien président américain Barack Obama. Ce qui m'a intéressé de plus sur lui, c'est son nom Diallo. Et il a accepté de me dire pourquoi il porte le nom Peul. Regardez l'interview.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk with you.
Anytime, bro. Anytime.
As I was saying, I was recently on Netflix watching Marlon, and then I saw your name. Diallo. I said, "Oh, this is one of my brother from another mother."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, that's not too far off the track, you know. Like I was saying, is you know, my name is Diallo Riddle, but you know, I have a Fulani name, and I do get asked by people sometimes, especially from Francophone West Africa. They're like, "Diallo, your name is Diallo," and I'm like, well, yes, it should be pronounced Diallo, but you know, my parents named me Diallo, I guess presumably either because they didn't know how it's pronounced or they didn't want people calling me Jello, which is a food here in America.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, Jello is a food, and Giallo, you know, they might call me that. So they call me Diallo, but like I live in Los Angeles where we have a lot of, you know, Latino people, and they think my name is Diablo, which is Spanish for the devil. But I always say that I'm really happy to have the name Diallo because, you know, I love the fact that I have a West African name, even though I'm not necessarily from West Africa. You know, for me, it's a connection to, you know, my people. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that's a blessing. I wish I can see your parents right now and give them a hug for giving you the name Diallo. You see?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I know about, you know, Diallo being the last name, being your last name. I know that, you know, that is the home of the Fouta Djallon Mountains. And, you know, Djallon is also spelled D-I-A.
Yes.
And it's just that, you know, that spelling, that J, which I, again, I think it makes for a very cool name. I can't wait till I get to actually come and visit because I think that it'll be a lot of fun. But I'm visiting virtually. I like the fact that you found me from Marlon, which is a show here in America on Netflix. I think it's in Netflix over there as well.
Yes, it's Netflix. Yes.
Yeah, and do you guys get Insecure with Issa Rae?
What do you mean?
Well, there's a show called Insecure.
Oh,
and it's
okay. Maybe I have to look on it, but I didn't know about it before.
I think it's on HBO, but it stars an actress, a wonderful actress named Issa Rae.
Okay.
And she's very famous over here, and she is, you know, just an amazing actor and also a great writer. She writes most of that show, and you know, so whether it's her or Kenya Barris, who does Blackish, which is another show that I've popped up on, you know, like these are all shows that you know, I'm very proud of our work. A lot of Black creators writing Black stories, and I'm hoping that they're getting over to where you live because we make these stories universal so that people all around the world can appreciate them.
Yeah, that's that. We definitely watch. I watch a lot Marlon, and my boy also watch it. Actually, he's the one who made me watch it a lot.
Yeah.
So, and then recently I saw your name. I was surprised, and then I saw another minister in the Caribbean island. He's also Diallo. He's a minister of I think education, something like that.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's common to see Fulani name in Europe or in the US, but the Berry name, not Diallo.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only met maybe 2 other people with my name my entire life. So, as a first name, I should say. But it's, again, it's one of those things where, and I went to Harvard University here in the United States.
Okay.
And my professor was Emmanuel Achiampong. And, he was from West Africa, and he would say, "Do you know the meaning of your name?" And I would tell him, "Yes, Diallo Amir means bold prince." and I always used that, when I was single before I got married, I would say that to women. I'd be like, "Well, my name means bold." And that was my pickup line. So that's all it took sometimes for the ladies to like me. Yeah. But I think it's a great name, and I'm very proud of it.
It's definitely. In West Africa, there's a lot of family with the name Diallo in Guinea, Senegal, Mali, Ivory Coast. The Fulani people, they are in more than 15 countries in Africa, but mostly...
Yeah, they're nomadic, right?
Yeah,
they've been known to move around.
That's correct. They are mostly in West Africa, and then in the Central African Republic, and you find them in Sudan, you find them in Chad. Mm-hmm. So actually we are all over the world. Even some people say that the Tutsi in Rwanda are Fulani, because if you look at Paul Kagame, yeah. So the Tutsi, they say they can be Fulani because we look so similar.
Yeah, that's so crazy, right? Like, and I feel like we don't know enough about that sometimes, but yes, what you're saying is very true.
Yeah. Have you learned something about the Fulani?
I've learned a lot more than your typical American. I don't know as much as a person actually who's Fulani, obviously.
Okay.
And I'm not sure that I've ever actually, I've had many African friends, but they've been mainly Nigerian or Ethiopian, and a few Ghanaians.
Okay.
And literally one South African, though I don't know him well. But I've never really had a friend who was Fulani.
Okay. And in Nigeria, there's a lot of Fulani, actually, in the north of Nigeria.
And probably sort of more in the northern part of the nation, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, when I saw a map of where the Fulani lived, I noticed that they were in West Africa, but they were more towards away from the coast. They were more, inland. And correct me if I'm wrong, that's because they were big on trade, if not.
That's correct.
Big on trade.
That's correct, yes. That's correct.
And they had a lot of interaction with the Muslims, with the Arabs, to the north in the trade route.
Yes, yeah. According to the say that the Fulani are from North or East Africa. According to them, we are from North. Some say we are from East Africa. But if you look like the Ethiopian, we Fulani, we look similar to them. Someone like me, always people, when they meet me, they speak Ethiopian to me. They tell me Salama. They try to speak the Ethiopian language to me, and then I just make them know that no, I look like Ethiopian, but I'm not from Ethiopia. And then I've been told them, so maybe I have to go get my passport. but have you tried to meet maybe the Fulani in your city? Because I know.
I mean, I've living in LA, I feel like our population of Africans is not as big as it might be in like a place like New York or maybe even Atlanta.
Okay.
I hear the places like DC, Washington DC, and Seattle. Some places in Philadelphia, these places, San Francisco actually, these places have larger populations of just Africans in general. So we don't get a whole lot of that. What I will say is that it's, my very first college girlfriend was Ethiopian, and she taught me a lot about that culture. And in fact, I feel like her parents, they probably just liked me, but their parents were like, when you don't wear the glasses, like you look like you could be a little Ethiopian too. So
yeah, definitely, you look like Ethiopian.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
But I love it, and I can't wait to, you know, sort of like do one of those tests where you can trace your roots and find out if
Yes.
there's,
That's
find out
exactly
where I come from.
That's exactly I wanted to ask you if you have done a DNA test.
You know, I did it, but I'm not sure I did it right. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
You know, I would want a second opinion. I mean, like, it didn't really come back all that conclusive, I'll just say. So, you know, but I know that my family, you know, I was able to use another website about just tracking your heritage. I've been able to find out on like my mom's side and my father's side, like sort of where we come from. And we've been here for a while. You know, we've been in the United States at least since 1820. That was as far back as I could go before I hit the inevitable unknown slave woman, you know, which is very depressing and
that's
very
true.
sad.
Yeah, very sad.
You know,
That's true.
But we go back to about 1820 in Virginia. But, you know, I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, to a family that had moved west even before slavery was over. They moved to Ohio, which was a free state, and then they moved all the way out to California by the 1900s. And then, you know, I know you didn't ask for all this, but, you know, my father was a very sort of militant person in the 1960s, and you know, he was down with the Black Panthers and all that kind of stuff. And when Nixon got reelected in 1972, my father was like, "We're leaving America. We've had enough of this."
Okay.
And so they moved the whole family to Martinique in the Caribbean. But then they decided that they wanted to come back to America after a few years. So by the late 70s, early 80s, they moved to Atlanta. Suddenly I was born, and I lived in Atlanta for the first part of my life. And people in Atlanta they were always he's real smart. Leave him alone. You know, let him be a nerd.
Okay.
And so I just studied my books really hard and did that. Yeah.
But there is a lot of African American coming in Africa in the recent years. Would you like to visit Africa one day, or have you ever been?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I'm actually a little bit sad that I've never been able to visit. My niece, my brother, I have a much older brother. My niece has been studying in South Africa, so she's made it to the continent. But I would love to make it to the continent, specifically to wonderful places like Accra and Lagos and maybe Addis Ababa. You know, I would love that. Actually, that is definitely a goal of mine.
Those are the places favorite for the African American, huh? Accra and Ethiopia, and also
those
Tanzania.
Are where my friends are from. Yeah, my friends are from those places. But you know, I mean, like, I would actually like to visit Liberia. I was actually supposed to do some term study in the Saharan trade. They were supposed to send me to Fez in Morocco. But then it got a little dicey in Fez, and so I wasn't able to go. The State Department here wouldn't allow me to travel. But yeah, I mean, like, I'd be very interested in visiting many places. Angola is of particular interest to me.
Okay, that's
just because I think that my sister did a DNA test, and a lot of her markers were from Angola. So,
okay.
You know, I feel like I'd like to look at Angola at some point. You know, I have less interest in like going on a wildlife safari. I want to see the people. I want to see the cultures, and that's more the Africa that I'd like to do.
That's very interesting, because you see, like even Dave Chappelle was. I watched one of his interview recently with Naomi Campbell. He's also planning to move to Ghana. And then if you see like Steve Harvey, he just moved his show in Africa, Family Feud.
You know, I've never actually seen that show, but I love the fact that Steve Harvey's doing that show, and I think there needs to be more of that. We need more shows to sort of like cross-pollinate, so that, you know, I see more shows about Black people in Great Britain than I do actually in Africa. So I hope that changes, and that we can have more, you know, exchange of shows. I think that's very cool.
That's lovely. That's lovely. And who is Bashir? I see you with Bashir always. Bashir.
Bashir, we went to Harvard together. He's a good friend, and we write all our shows together.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
And then we act in the shows too. So
yeah, I see you always with Basir. I say, oh, maybe Basir is your best friend. I think definitely I asked her.
We've been friends for a long time. We've been friends for almost 20 years. So
you are our nominee, right? That's correct.
We were nominated for an Emmy Award, which is the prestigious prize here in American TV. And yeah, we won. Actually, one of our shows won an award for best wardrobe, best clothes.
Okay.
And it's ironic because the woman who does our clothes is actually from South Africa. So she really made some beautiful dress. Like she made a beautiful Ghanaian sort of kente cloth dress that was amazing. And you know, anytime we do something based on movies, she makes the costumes look just like the costumes from the movie. She's incredibly talented. We did win an Emmy for that, and we hope to win. We got nominated for an NAACP award, which is like a big black award here, and then we lost to Sesame Street, which I don't get because those puppets are made of felt, and we are black people. So I don't know how we lost the NAACP award to the Muppets, but we did.
That's lovely. And you also work with on the late night show with Jimmy Fallon also, right?
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon. He is a friend. He's a really good friend, and he's always supported what we wanted to do. So we've had a lot of time hanging out with Jimmy, making jokes with him and the Roots. The Roots is the band on that show, and Questlove and the Roots are really good friends of ours as well. It's a small community of people who really try to just make each other laugh.
That's lovely. And you also did work with Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, absolutely. When Barack came on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, we wrote the Slow Jam the News that he did.
Oh, okay.
So we took headlines from the news and then put it in and wrote it for the president. And Barack says that was one of the highlights of him being president was, you know, doing the jokes that we wrote for him. So, you know, we feel very special to have that moment that we shared with America's first black president. He's a big fan of Barack Obama. He's great.
That's lovely. I'm also a big fan of him. But how did you get attracted to acting?
Bashir and I were writing and we were casting actors, but sometimes we couldn't find an actor to say the line. So at that point, we would sometimes say the line, and then eventually we ended up being actors. I mean, that's really what ended up. Bashir knew he wanted to act from the very beginning, but it took me some time because I thought I just wanted to be a writer. But at some point I realized that I could do certain things that, you know, I didn't see anybody else doing. So why not get paid to do them?
That's interesting. Definitely. I just want to ask you the last question. I know you are too busy, so I don't want to take your time. Can you tell us a few movies you acted on?
You know, I'll go back to Insecure. I think it's a great show, and I pop up on the season 5, episode 1 episode of that show. It's a small part, but it's a good part. And then the shows that I'm really proud of, I hope that you guys get them over there. We have Southside, which is on HBO.
I saw it, yes, but I didn't watch it.
You gotta watch it. I think you'll love it. It's set in Chicago, where Bashir grew up, and yeah, like Southside. It's set in Chicago, but I think if you grew up in any black neighborhood, you can relate to these characters. All of these characters have a day job, but they have a side hustle that they think is going to blow up and make them rich one day. And that is what that show is about. It's about, you know, people, working class people trying to make it, trying to do something with their lives, but it's really, really funny. And I think that if you like to laugh, you will love this show because we use all real people, not a whole lot of actors. We use real people in these parts to really make it seem authentic.
Okay, can we find it on Netflix?
I don't think you'll see Southside on Netflix. I don't think so, but maybe you can, because I think every place is different. You know, some places it's on Netflix, some places it's on HBO. I would say just look it up on the internet and see if you can find it. So that's Southside on HBO Max. Hopefully it's over there. We got Marlon on Netflix. I'm working on the I hope you get to watch those as well.
Okay. Thank you again for talking to me. I definitely appreciate it. And then
no problem.
And we'll keep you in touch.
Take care, man.
Thanks so much. See you soon. Bye. Bye.